Oh boy, someone left me a comment saying, hey, you need to check out Nintendo Prime stream. He has been trying to call you out and other YouTubers. Let's find out.
Anyways, get into our last topic. Look, this kind of veers off from Nintendo, but not if you listen to the internet, because it's all Nintendo's fault. The gaming industry is ruined, it's crashing, and Nintendo is to blame.
I mean, Nintendo's only part of the problem. It ain't just Nintendo. Sony has been causing this, so has Xbox. All the big three have been causing it. They're the ones that are going to cause this gaming crash, and this is what we need. We need a great reset. We need to spark off this gaming revolution already and have the great reset start.
Look, Microsoft made a bunch of headlines literally the day after the podcast last week, doing exactly what everyone thought was going to happen someday.
And guess what? We have been blasting them for it. Just because someday one of them are going to do it doesn't mean we have to accept it. How do you not understand that, Primey?
Probably going to happen to PlayStation as well.
Maybe, but PlayStation hasn't done it yet, and hopefully they don't.
I feel like games have been on sale for so long, based on how long we've had these prices.
What do you mean that video games have been on a sale? Okay, you're old enough to know better than that. We can look at you and clearly tell that you're well into your 50s. And how are you going to sit there and say that video games have been on a sale? You remember how it was back in the Atari days, for crying out loud. And you're going to sit there and say, oh, video games have been on a sale? What do you know? You only play Nintendo. When was the last time Nintendo actually did a good sale for consumers?
It's the worst part of gaming. Like, it's just a constant barrage of like, everything sucks.
No, actually, the worst part of gaming is seeing a bunch of overgrown men like you. No, the worst part of gaming is seeing some old timers like you defending a console made for children and sitting there throwing a fit because they can't handle criticism.
I honestly blame Sony, not for the pricing, but for the lack of games that gives people too much time be fighting their wars on Twitter.
That made no damn sense. I think what you're trying to sit there and say is like, oh, well, they're not making that many games, so Sony ponies are more on Twitter complaining than they are playing games. You do realize there are other games besides Sony exclusives to play on the PS5, right? You do have third-party games. I understand that you guys had a lack of support for third-party during the Switch era, and the only games you got were the overpriced Nintendo IPs, but don't worry, maybe you'll get some for the Switch too. Oh, you actually will.
That's really where it's at. There's a lull everywhere except for what was the Expedition 33 or something like that came out recently, and you see a lot of people like
what's wrong with Expedition 33? That's an amazing game to play. That game is getting great reviews. It literally sold over 2 million copies within the first 12 days of it launching. You're just jealous that game didn't come to your precious Switch.
We just need more games to play.
No, you guys need more games to play. I understand that the Switch 1 had a lacking of good games, and you were stuck having to play Princess Peach Showtime and Mario and Luigi Brothership, but don't worry. You guys will finally get some actual good games on the Switch too.
At least the gamers online that are vocal are just they're not happy about anything. And they just have such a strange perspective of entitlement. It seems like that, like,
what bitch please? You guys are the ones that are always acting like entitlement, you damn Switch people. Not all the Nintendo people, but you guys specifically. And I am so glad this person recommended me to watch this podcast, because I just found out about you, and trust me, I will be making more content about you in 64.
As soon as you see somebody say, oh, I'll just pirate it. Like,
I mean, that is one route people can go down. I don't sit there and recommend that route. I always recommend obtaining a copy the legal way and then ripping it to your computer, which there are ways to do it for relatively inexpensive. I'm pretty positive you can take a rented copy of a game and rip it to your computer. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure you can.
You realize if everybody took that mentality, we would all be playing board games.
Well, luckily, we all don't have that mentality. And maybe if Nintendo would sit there and give a reasonable price, we would sit there and have a lot less people doing that stuff. Now, we're always going to have people that are going to do it. People do illegal stuff all the time. That's the reason why we have laws, and that don't stop the people. If no one did anything illegal, we wouldn't have any laws.
And video games would go away.
I don't see Expedition 33 going away. I haven't heard anybody pirating those. Doesn't mean that they're not, but I haven't heard too many people pirating those things. And they sold 2 million copies within 12 days. So it shows when you sit there and release a good game at a good price, then people buy it. Shocking, isn't it?
That's not how it works. It's just not real life. And so,
I mean, in real life, many people have been sailing the 7 seas, and I haven't seen anybody go to jail or prison for it yet. Doesn't mean I condone it in any way.
It's not Nintendo's fault.
And whose fault is it then?
I've mentioned, like, go buy a bag of Doritos right now.
Right, we just went from video games to a bag of Doritos. You like flip-flopping just as much as Harmon Smith does.
If I start going with pricing too far back, I'd be like, back in my day, like,
Yeah, we all know that back in your day, you knew how it was without video games.
you can vote with your wallet. It's not really going to do anything. And you can scream into the void. It's like,
Well, of course, with that fucking attitude, of course something's going to happen. And you're like, oh, well, vote for your wallet, but nothing's going to happen. You know what's also going to help? If all you combined will sit there and stop being cowards and caring about your own self and sitting there telling people, no, do not buy these products. And if you sit there and mobilize your subscribers to not buy these products, guess what? Nintendo will freak out, lower the prices. That's what happened either with the DS or the 3DS. I don't remember which one, but they came out with one that was overpriced, and eventually they had to lower the prices because they weren't selling enough.
it's like driving by protesters. It's like, you guys are not excited and everybody's honking your horn, but at the end of the day, you're not doing anything. Like, you're literally doing nothing. Go attack your backlog, right? And have some,
do something productive.
Have some fun. Like, just
I am very glad that you find this funny that many of your subscribers are being priced out of their favorite hobby. But of course you don't care because you're going to sit there and buy the products anyways. You get a tax write-off because it's a business. You probably are going to get a commission, or your buddy Primey is getting a commission if you go through his link. So of course none of you guys care, nothing but a bunch of selfish assholes.
a game costing $20 more. Like, at the end of the day, like, just don't buy it. It's not like you're not forced to do it. You're not.
Are you an idiot? You do realize that you need people to buy these products. If they don't buy these products, then what use are you? Why would someone come and watch your channel about something they cannot even play because it's too damn expensive? Like Nintendo Prime, he sits there and does so much news on it, and he does all that Switch 2 news. Why would sit there and people go and watch his stuff because they're looking forward to being able to buy the stuff? And if they can't afford it, there's going to be no use. So you guys need them to buy these products. And if they don't buy them products, then there's not going to be no use for to even watch your damn content in the first place.
I could have videos go viral on TikTok that pay for Mario Kart World in a single video.
Yes, you can do that, but you want to know what also you can do? You can sit there, refuse to buy it, make a video telling everybody that it's too overpriced, do not buy it until they lower the price, and then guess what? Nintendo will probably lower it down to a $60 price tag, or a more reasonable one at a $50 price tag for that damn game in the first place, and then many more people can buy it and enjoy it with you. But you're not here for gamers. You don't care about your subscribers. All you want to do is use them to fund your lifestyle.
It's coming in from a different perspective as well. I'm not just the casual gamer out there.
Yes, we all know that you're not the average gamer. We know that because I keep blasting you guys for it. You guys can afford it because you're using your subscribers to fund it.
Mario Kart World looks like a hell of a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to unlock the costumes I want to play with that are going to put a smile on my face and start deep diving into the tech of that game.
I bet that's not the only thing you're going deep with when it comes to Nintendo. You want to be also a lot more fun if they would sit there, lower the price of Mario Kart World so more of your subscribers can enjoy the game with you. So you're going to sit there and be just like Primey, where he sat there and pre-ordered 6 Switches, got called out for it, which thank you. I love that you guys called his ass out for that one. And then you're pretty much doing the same thing. You can afford this overpriced game. You're going to play it, rub it into your fan base, and they can't even afford it. How does that make you feel? You probably don't even care because you don't even have a soul.
If it had cost $100, I would have bought it. I don't care, And I think that's ultimately what pisses people off, because they're like, we need to be a unified front. Against what?
Against Nintendo. Think of your fans for once in your pathetic life. Sit there and look out for them. Look out for the little guy. Look out for the gamers that can't afford it. And you're going on like, oh, it could be $100. Oh my God, dude. Do you realize that when you buy those prices, it don't just affect you, it's affecting all of us. You're ruining gaming for everybody.
The majority of people are not on Twitter. They're not on Reddit. If you don't believe me, go and look at what happened with Pokemon. It's still in the top 10 most sold games. Your boycott did nothing.
Yeah, because of shitty people like you that help Nintendo brainwash people into accepting these horrible price points.
It goes back before Pokemon. Remember Battlefront 2? Star Wars Battlefront 2? That game sold gangbusters and everybody was like, nobody's going to buy it.
You don't even know what you're talking about. So many people were blasting EA for doing those loot crates or loot boxes, whatever the hell they freaking call them. And it got so bad to the point where Disney had to step in and have them remove it. See, boycotts do work. None of you guys know what the hell you're talking about. The only reason why with Nintendo that they don't work is because you fanboys accept this bullshit, buy it anyways, and if you realize that if you hold out, then the game will actually be a hell of a lot better.
it still did really well that holiday season because the majority of people are like, "Oh, Star Wars game."
It did really well when Disney stepped in and made EA take out those damn Loot Crate and loot boxes. Okay, if you're going to speak about stuff, make sure you get your information correct, you freaking idiots.
It's just such a bizarre space because for the longest time I'm like, am I allowed to be excited about this? Not that I have to ask permission, but it's like I don't want to deal with all the
bullshit,
the hate comments and all that stuff just for enjoying what I enjoy. Like if you don't like it, move on.
You don't want to be me, you mean?
I don't know what to tell you.
You don't want to be me. I deal with this shit every day.
He had a full video.
Oh, I think they're talking about me now. And it's not even hate comments. You don't even know what you're talking about. We're giving you healthy criticism so you could be better and you could finally be the man that you're meant to be.
Talking about just
far-fetched
enjoying
shit,
games and not caring about the price.
Yeah.
And I still get shit on to this day. I have other YouTubers making videos on me now every fucking day about that video.
No. Don't you sit there and try to twist the narrative. We were making videos because you sat there and wouldn't come out and say whether the price point was acceptable or not. You were dodging the bullet. Then you sat there and made a video where you were like, oh, well, you know, I do think $80 is too much video games. I don't know how that got lost in translation. And then after that, you sat there and did a tweet where you were like, oh, well, I don't think $80 is too much to ask for Mario Kart World. I'm still going to buy it. So you're full of shit.
It's funny because they're not even watching the whole video and they're like just putting arguments in my mouth I never said. It's hilarious.
Speak for yourself. I sat there and watched your own video. I didn't put no arguments into your mouth. I literally sat there and took what you said and put it in the video. Don't get mad because I sat there and showed what you said and showed your hypocrisy.
So no, look, this whole situation with Xbox, inevitable. Most of their consoles are made in China. There's a massive tariff in China. Is what it is. Prices were going to go up. Oh, what are the prices of their games have to go up? I don't know. They're $1 trillion company. They like making money.
Yeah, so in one breath, you're trying to blame the tariffs, and then you're like, when they call you out on it, they're like, oh, I don't know. Well, they're $1 trillion company. They like to make money. They can sit there and sell them for a lot less than what they do and still make money. But because of people like you that accept these damn price points, it ruins it for everybody else.
Why is Mario Kart $80? Nintendo likes making money.
Yes, and they can also sit there and sell it like at $50 or $60, and they will probably make even more money. Do you not realize that? Because you know they're going to add DLC. We all know they're going to add DLC because that's what they did with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But if you don't believe me, go look at Expedition 33. Made an amazing game at a great price at $50, sold over 2 million copies within its first 12 days. Probably going to sit there and sell more. Most likely is going to win Game of the Year. Explain that one, please.
They just crossed 100 billion in valuation for the first time ever in company history. They like making money. These are for-profit companies.
No shit. None of us knew that they were for-profit companies. We all thought that they sat there and sold everything at cost. Such a news flash coming from you. And they would make even more money if they would lower the damn price.
They exist to make money. That is their entire point of existence. And we have to decide as consumers if we're willing to pay for those experiences.
Yes, and also there's one thing that we have above the normal consumer. We are also content creators. We also have an influence. Now, you have a much larger influence than I have. My influence really isn't that much. Now, I love each and every one of my subscribers that have subscribed, but I still have a very small influence compared to you. So you also have an obligation to your fans to sit there and look out for them, but we know you're not because all you're doing is using them.
That's ultimately what matters. All these boycotts, all this screaming and kicking and yelling from the mountaintops. I mean, we were in line at GameStop where some people thought Mario Kart was $90 and they still pre-ordered the fucking thing and it wasn't $90.
Well, it's probably because you people sat there and brainwashed those poor souls into buying it. I guarantee you probably had a conversation with them. It's like, oh yeah, it's so worth it. You need to buy it. Probably gave them a link to sit there and buy so you can get a commission again.
I've said this several times. You put your money where your mouth is. If you're going to criticize price points, then the number one way to do it is to not buy it.
Very true. But do you see most of us sitting here throwing a fit about the price points and then we're buying it? Maybe people like Dreamcast guy, but he's a freaking idiot.
You don't like Xboxes being at the price they are? Well, guess what? They're already not selling anyways. I'm not so sure the price change really matters for Xbox.
Yeah, that's probably one of the easiest boycotts ever.
Now, are $80 games going to happen? That I don't know.
Yes, you do. Mario Kart World is at $80. Microsoft just said that their newer games are going to be at $80. What are you talking about?
That is obviously individual choice. You just said EA come out today and say they're not upping their games to $80. Cool. It's almost as if that choice is based on the individual company.
It's probably because they've been seeing how much backlash Microsoft and Nintendo are getting for doing the $80 price points. Oh, geez, you didn't think about that one, did you, Tubby?
Does EA need to up their games to $80? No.
No one needs to, especially Nintendo.
they'd probably rather get the games in more houses because of all the DLC and microtransactions they have.
So you're pretty much saying that you should go buy an EA game because you're getting more value than Mario Kart World. Because Mario Kart World is going to sell it at a higher price than EA, and it's still going to sit there and have all the DLC.
They'd rather have more players because more players will spend more money on all the other ways to make money on the game. Then you have companies like Nintendo where that point of sale, that's kind of it for them.
Do you not realize all those Switch 2 versions of those games that they're charging an extra $20 for the upgrade part of it is coming with extra DLC? Did Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sit there and get extra DLC? What are you talking about? You literally make no sense.
And there's like never microtransactions in their console games. Almost never. I know there's some Rusty's Real Deal Baseball and some stuff they played around with in the past.
No, most of those games do not have microtransactions, but what they have is worse. They got macro transactions.
I sit here and I've always been of mind of, I think price increases suck.
No, you don't. You're only saying that to try to save face for your fans that you're ripping off.
I do think they're anti-consumer. But guess what? All for-profit businesses are anti-consumer. They just want your money.
That's not true. Now, we all know that you're definitely anti-consumer. You're sitting there trying to pretend like you're pro-consumers when you're not.
So if you want to boycott, shut the fuck up on the internet and put your wallet away. You screaming from the mountaintop isn't going to make other people put their wallets away. It doesn't work.
Oh, I'll probably be sitting there trying to act like he's a big man now. Look like his balls have finally dropped for once.
Oh, I'm here. Well, of course this shoe is selling out. Even the Wii U sold out. My motherfucker.
Okay, I take it back.
Do you know how much stock of Switch 2 they provided? Do you realize in like a 6-month period, they will have produced more Switch 2s than the entire generation of Wii U?
I'm going to laugh so hard if they don't. How do you know this? Where are you getting your information from?
Like, do you understand how hard it is to make more units for launch than any console in history and still sell them out? Bottom line is, a lot of people are excited for Switch 2. And the bottom line is, all this controversy is mostly happening in the United States.
Yes, because we're also...
Yeah.
We were shielded by the size of our market. The size of the market of the US shielded all these price changes for a very, very long time because it was such a huge market that you'd rather not raise the prices in that market and maintain a certain level of sales. Well, guess what's been happening? Those certain level of sales aren't happening anymore.
And why do you think that is? Like, literally, you actually just sat there and answered the question in that whole damn speech you just gave. Why do you think that the games aren't selling as much as they used to? Because they're overpricing them. And now they're so overpriced, you don't even know if you're getting a good game. You used to be able to go on YouTube and trust the content creators to give a good review, and now they're being paid, and they're being nothing but a bunch of corporate shills like you and Harmon Smith.
Games are selling less, not more.
Maybe if they lowered the price on the games and then actually made a good game, they would sit there and sell more. But the games that aren't selling or they don't make a profit on, you want to know why? Because they're not making good games. Make better games, you'll make a profit.
And so now the market isn't big enough to sit there and be like, oh, we could just keep all the prices super low for this one particular market. They can't do it anymore.
Of course they can. Look at Expedition 33. Look at the Oblivion remaster. It just proved that they can do it.
No, I'm not saying Nintendo can't do it.
Stop lying. Yes, you are.
Nintendo's more profitable than ever.
Do you think it's because during the Switch 1, they were sitting there selling everything lower than what the rest of the industry was selling them for? Do you think that might have something to do with it?
They're literally the biggest they've ever been. Yeah, they want to keep getting bigger.
And you don't become bigger by ripping off your damn fan base the way that they are. You sit there, keep the prices at a good price, and guess what? They will continue to get bigger.
They think the way to keep getting bigger is to charge more. For some games. Actually, right now, I guess you could argue all games, because Donkey Kong, it's the same price as Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Oh yeah, because it so worked before for Nintendo in the past when they oversold or overpriced the Wii U, and they overpriced, I believe, the 3DS or the DS, can't remember which one, and they weren't selling that much, and what did? They lowered the price. I can't wait till they have to lower the price of the Switch 2 again. Or not again, I just can't wait till they have to lower the price of the Switch 2.
Does anyone think it should be? I don't know, but it is.
No, it should not be. Donkey Kong Bonanza is barely a AA game. They should not be charging AAA prices for a AA game.
They're telling you right now that game is worth the same as Tears of the Kingdom. Of course, if Tears of the Kingdom was released exclusively on Switch 2 today, it'd probably be $80.
I'm pretty certain that the Switch 2 edition of Tears of the Kingdom is supposed to be like $80 if I remember correctly. Actually, I thought it was supposed to be $90. I can't remember.
The biggest thing to me isn't that you can't be critical of this stuff. Just don't be hypocritical about it.
What, you mean just like you when you sit there and try to lie to everybody saying that, oh, well, I do think $80 is too high of a price point for games. I don't know where that got lost in translation. And then sit there and put a message on X saying, oh, I don't think the $80 is too high for these games. Make up your mind. Stop being hypocritical. Take your own advice.
One, keep the same energy for everyone.
Okay, how about you first? We're waiting for you to keep that same energy. All that energy you had for Activision and Sony going to $70, but then the moment Nintendo goes to $80, you're quiet as a church mouse about it.
Okay, billions. Keep that in mind. I said billions. How many console gamers are there? Less than 300 million.
And I wonder why that is. Once Sony started putting their games on the PC, people were flooding to the PC market because now PC can play Xbox games, Sony games, and they even can sit there and play your games that you guys so badly love.
Less than 300 million console gamers. We are a niche in the gaming sphere. At one point, we were the gamers.
Yes, the consoles were inexpensive compared to a PC. Also, we were able to get physical copies of the games compared to the PC. Now that's all going away. You're starting to see the consoles becoming almost the same price as a budget PC that will play games for years.
Now, thanks to phones, tablets, PC blowing up, gaming consoles are a niche within the gaming industry.
The only thing you said correct was the PC. I mean, it doesn't even matter about tablets and phones. No one cares about mobile gaming. That's a joke.
Niches tend to be pretty expensive. We are a luxury.
Speak for yourself. Maybe for Nintendo, it's becoming a niche, and Sony's becoming a niche. That's why next gen, I'm probably just going to stick with PC.
And it's kind of always been that way. It just so happens that gaming expanded beyond the luxury. People talk about keep games affordable gaming. It's called your phone.
No, it's called you wipe the jizz from your chinny chin chin and sit there and tell Nintendo we want our games at a reasonable price or we're not going to buy them.
Go to the App Store. There's good games there. I'm not even saying this as an insult. There's legitimately good games you can play on your phone for really cheap.
Would you like to know why? My wife is from an Asian country. When I went over there, you very rarely see people playing video games. They were usually on their phone because they can't afford it. That's why. So pretty much you're telling everybody to go be poor is what you're saying.
You might not know about it because you haven't bothered to go look, but let me tell you, all those Asian countries know about it.
You are not helping your case. The only reason why they know about it is because a lot of them cannot afford. You're talking about third world countries that cannot afford the luxury now of playing video games.
They're playing those games like crazy on their phones. It's one of those things where gaming has expanded beyond the console. And so the consoles only become more premium over time, not less.
And that's why I'm hoping that the consoles crash. I really do. We need to have a gaming revolution. We need to put these companies in their damn places.
It's only going to get more expensive. $450? Man, a $150 increase over the launch of Switch. Yeah, and PlayStation's already increased the price like twice of the PS5 since 2020.
And yes, and currently you can get a PS5 digital edition cheaper than you can a Switch 2. And the PS5 is a much better console.
Xbox is now doing it.
Well, there's no reason to even get an Xbox. You might as well just get a PC at that price point.
What are we doing? This is a luxury medium. It always has been.
No, it hasn't. I understand that you've been stuck on Nintendo where they love to overprice things because they make a limited supply on purpose to drive the prices up. But if you go look back during the PS2, you were able to get them at a relatively inexpensive price. That's why they sold so damn much, because it was not a luxury. That was a pure hobby at that point.
If you can't afford the luxury, that's okay. If you can afford it and you don't think it's worth the money, that's okay too. I'm not mad at you about it.
Where you're going to be when people refuse to buy the games and then they're not selling as well, and there goes bye-bye to your precious IPs.
But what I will say is, for those that want to afford or can afford or are excited to partake in that luxury, leave them alone. They're not ruining gaming for you.
Yes, you are. By accepting these price points, you keep them at the same. If you refuse to buy it, they'll lower the price.
We didn't cause microtransactions to happen. Go yell at all the people playing FIFA.
Trust me, I've been yelling at all those sports gamers for years. Ask anybody that knows me.
Even then, is it really ruined when we still have options that don't do that? Nintendo's been one of those options. They charge you a premium price up front, even for games that are 5 years old.
Yes, Nintendo doesn't sit there and really do microtransactions. They do macro transactions. They oversell. They give you an overprice for a product that's not even a AAA product, it's a AA product.
And this is the world that we've been living in for a long time. So I don't want to hear shit about video game crashes.
Oh, you will continue to hear about them. I can't wait for this crash. I am calling for the crash. We need the gaming crash to happen.
No, bottom line is, if you don't want to partake in this industry, then don't.
It's not that people don't want to partake in the industry, it's that they can't afford it because of you people.
With GTA 6. So that might be $100.
It better not be $100.
And guess what? You think it ain't gonna sell well because it's $100? They fucking know that shit's gonna sell.
Yeah, and guess what? Me and a bunch of other people will actually be out here fighting for the consumers and real gamers, unlike you.
They're gonna have a premium, deluxe, ultimate, badass edition for $250 that'll probably sell 10 million copies. Just look at the views on their trailers. They know. They got everyone by the balls. And I'm not saying that their games aren't worth it.
Yes, you are. You had no problem saying that about Activision and Sony.
They know they can spend $500 million to make that game.
I think it's closer to 2 billion.
Especially with their multiplayer, which, by the way, no one ever seems to chastise them for their multiplayer that's full of microtransactions.
Oh, just you wait. If GTA 6 does that, there's going to be plenty of us because there are many of us that hate microtransactions.
Their entire GTA 5 multiplayer is built upon microtransactions. It's crazy. No one ever wants to bring it up. Oh, we're so excited for GTA 6 to come out. Why? So you can play their multiplayer FIFA mode?
Probably the reason why no one really brings up the multiplayer with GTA 5 nowadays is because GTA 5 isn't that new of a game. It was made back, what, 2013, if I remember correctly? I'm probably incorrect. Someone will let me know down in the comments. But you know how long ago that was? Yeah, there are still a lot of people that are making content on it, but it's just not as relevant as the newer stuff that's happening right now.
I don't want to hear you YouTubers out there. I don't want to hear oh, I have to get it for my job. No, you fucking don't. You choose what you cover.
No, but you do. You built your channel around Nintendo. You have no choice but to spend these prices because you don't want to sit there and switch it up. You don't want to sit there and actually stand up for your damn fan base in the first place.
What the fuck?
We need a
Dude, I gotta get this shit off my chest, man.
I know, right?
Oh man, don't get too much shit off your chest. We don't need to be seeing that broad that you have to wear. You know, we are sitting there triggering this guy so bad. All of us, me, oh no, it's Atlas, because I know he did one. I think Fitz and Klutzy also did one on him. Oh yeah, we're trick at this guy, and I am so happy. Well, that's it for my reaction. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me or not. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember to wrap it up so you don't produce a cowardly son like Nintendo Prime. And until next time, guys, stay vigilant.